the opener here inside the Peterson Event Center. Pittsburgh coming in 6-5, Miami 8-1. Here we go. Pitt going up against Miami, and this is a Pitt team. They score just under 65 points per game, more defensive-minded, but they need to get production from a lot of places. They're missing pieces due to injury. That's been an issue. So the versatility of this team, as Johnson gets downhill, can't get the bucket. Miami plays a little bit more up pace, under 80 points per game. Cavinder wide open, short.
I think it's going to be really important for both teams. Moving the ball, finding those open spots, as you said, knocking down shots, going to be key for this Pitt team.
Elmore air ball as she goes to the deck. Starting five for Pitt, Brooklyn Miles, Michaela Elmore, who just missed on the three, Washenitz, Faye, and Michaela Johnson, the transfer from Colorado. Nice look underneath. Ball movement, three on the way, too strong out of the hands of Natalia Marshall. And circle her on your lineup, number 21 in black. She can be an absolute sharpshooter from range.
Well, it's been great to watch Nat as she's grown. Last year and the previous 4 years at Notre Dame, she has not attempted a three-point shot. Right now, shooting 9 for 22 after that last miss, but the three-point line is an area that's of growth for her.
Foul on the floor. They're going to whistle Roberts, the senior from Jacksonville, Florida, the only four-year player on this side. And this is what Marshall was able to do in Miami's bounce-back win over Bethune-Cookman. 20 points, 7 of 10 from the floor, including 4 three-pointers.
And a lot of confidence.
Hitting 4 three-pointers would definitely give you a lot of confidence, as that into the stands, an early turnover for Pitt, going back over the other way.
I think Pitt is trying to find a way to get Faye going down low, number 15, and careless turnover.
What's the best way to get Faye going down low?
Well, I think you got to do just that, but it would have been one more pass to the wing to get the ball inside.
Miami has missed their first 2 looks from the field. Good ball movement. Cavinder knifing through, blocked by Faye.
Hey, you want to talk about defense, that defensive rotation for Pitt, not able to convert on the offensive end.
Faye coming up with the defensive presence on the interior.
Look at it right here. She timed it just right, and Cavinder not the same height, obviously, as Faye, so she got the ball out of the air.
You're saying there's a little bit of a difference between 5'6" and 6'4"?
You know, just a little bit.
A little bit more than you and I walking in together today?
Well, you got your heels on, too, so.
I am still not 6'1". 3 ball from deep off the back iron. Both teams have yet to hit from the floor. A combined 0 of 5 to start. 3 Pitt turnovers already. Faye drop step, good defense.
Cam Williams lets her presence be known down low. Great job of contesting without fouling.
Roberts, high arcing 3, gets Miami on the board.
And I think she's the player that Miami needs to get going. Cavinder will get herself going, Nat will get her touches, but Jasmyne Roberts is kind of that piece that when she goes, I feel like the rest of the team will follow.
That person is 5 for Pitt. Coach Verdi wants it to also be Michaela Elmore. Is that jumper no good from Washenitz?
Pitt really struggling. This is what they got to do on the defensive end. Offensively, they're struggling trying to get the ball inside the basket.
Defense never takes a day off as Cavinder left open on the rotation, still can't come up with it. What would you like to see Pitt's offense do here?
Well, I think they need to move the ball from side to side. We talked to Coach Verdi yesterday, and he talked about we can't just stay on one side, and that's a prime example. Brooklyn Miles looks right at where she's passing.
Third turnover, nice dish, the twin connection. Haley starts it, Hannah finishes.
I can definitely see they could probably find each other with their eyes closed.
I was gonna say in their sleep. Three-pointer on the way. That finds the bottom of the cup from Johnson.
And that is a much-needed 3 basket for Pitt. Just seeing the ball go through the net, now they can settle into their offense.
Johnson coming off of a 13-point performance. Shooting percentage not great, takes a lot of shots. Over to Roberts, 2 for 2 from beyond the arc.
Well, Jasmyne Roberts, and I would say the Hurricanes overall doing a good job of moving the ball. We talked just what does Pitt need to do? Move the ball from side to side, and that's what Miami is doing really well.
Johnson not able to answer. Cavinder corrals the rebound. Offensive. They'll get Marshall on the moving screen. Her first, team first.
Well, Nat trying to run down, and I don't necessarily know if, yeah, she was trying to set her screen, but you can see she's definitely still moving and gets called for that foul.
Washinet's on the other side of that moving screen.
But that's how Miami wants to play. They want to get up and down the floor and not necessarily settle down into a half-court offense. On the other side, Pitt, they want to force a slower game because they know that they don't want to get in that game. And from a bench standpoint, they don't have a deep of a bench as Miami does.
This game really a juxtaposition of styles. Good look inside. Elmore turns, can't finish. It will stay with the Panthers.
And I think that's what Pitt needs to continue to do. They're not hitting their shots right now. I think they've had 2 attempts down low and have been 0 for 2, but you got to keep attacking.
Also 3 turnovers to go with just 1 field goal for the Panthers to start. Faye doubled. Roberts takes it away. Loose ball foul.
And you saw the rotation happen as the play happened. The double team down low for Faye. With Coach Cullup has had that experience on the other end when Cameron Williams was on the other side, and they would double and triple team as we had that conversation. So they're putting the same emphasis on Faye.
And Williams, the transfer from Michigan, Coach Cullup's Toledo team, knocking off the Wolverines as Cavinder sinks the jumper. That's going to earn a timeout from the Pitt side. Miami 3 of
the tournament 2 years ago, so not necessarily having a rebrand or anything, just more reestablishing. And of course, for Coach Verdi, just really trying to reestablish, refocus, rebrand, just get this
all
team
the
back.
R
All of
words.
the R's, just get it back.
Malcolm, jumper too strong. Battle inside. Loose ball. Out of bounds, it will go back over to the Hurricanes. That's 5 turnovers now committed by Pitt. How do they take better care of the basketball?
Well, I mean, that was that was an unforced error right there, and I really feel like Faye thought her player was going to rotate up. You got to get in eyesight of the person that has the ball, so you can't hide behind your defense.
It will stay with Miami. Pitt averages just over 17 turnovers per game. That's been an issue for Miami lately, though. They've struggled to take care of the basketball. It bit them against Vanderbilt in their only loss of the season. Cavinder out to Rogers.
And I think it's a focus for both teams. 10 seconds left in the shot clock.
Cavinder looking for the sister underneath. A travel, so a turnover committed by the Hurricanes.
And I feel like both teams right now are really struggling to find their offensive flow. We saw a couple of possessions from Miami, and Pitt still, everything is herky-jerky. They're not able to get comfortable with that flow.
As a player, when you're in a game like this where it's stop and start and kind of choppy, how do you find that rhythm?
Well, I think, one, you got to run the plays. 2, Miami being really physical. They're forcing them to take shots in different spots. Keep moving the ball.
Aaron Battle off the mark on the three-pointer.
And see, when you have a team like this of Miami and how much pressure they're putting, you almost have to bring everybody high and look at doing some more backdoor opportunities to get some wide open layups.
Scoring drought of over 2 minutes for Pitt. 20 on the shot clock off the inbound. Travel from Johnson, so the turnovers continue to mount.
And another unforced error. I think Johnson came over to the middle and thought that there was a denial or a steal, but threw the ball at her foot.
6 turnovers for Pitt. Miami still with a 7-point lead in this low-scoring affair here in Pittsburgh in the ACC opener for both the Hurricanes and the Panthers. Under 10 on the clock. Cavinder, downhill, turn around, no good. Harmon tracking it down. Cavinder will step into the 3 and get it.
Love the second chance points right there. Being active on the board, and that's when Miami did a great job. And I see a low post foul on Williams. Williams and Faye definitely going off of it. Yeah, look at the hustle play right here. And Hilton, great job. Cavinder stepped right into her shot. You knew it was going in as soon as it left her hands.
Already 5 made three-pointers for Miami. They're in the midst of an 8-0 run.
Well, it's interesting because you talked about this in the open. Pitt needed to do a better job on not allowing wide open threes, and here we already have 5 in the first quarter.
I love it when players make us look like we know what we're talking about. Is Faye. It's been a battle underneath so far, and the foul will go against Faye. That's her first.
Well, we did know what we were talking about.
Right, yeah.
We talked to the coaches yesterday, so having that opportunity, but you got to take what you talk about and actually put it into play. And, you know, Pitt is struggling on the offense, and sometimes you see this with young teams, especially new teams. 7 newcomers to Pitt, still trying to figure it out, a lot of injuries.
Offensive foul whistled on Hilton. Good defense on the Panthers side.
Yeah, here Hilton trying to take it in. Great job. Faye stepped right in and kind of saw that happening before it even happened, and Hilton gets called for that foul. Got to slow down the pace of the game. Both teams are forcing each other to play really fast on the offensive end.
Johnson pull up from the elbow. Faye.
Relentless.
Move the pivot foot, another turnover. That's 7 now in the quarter alone.
You could tell Faye frustrated with herself. Great job of getting the boards. Moved her foot a little bit. Not able to convert.
Leah Harmon. Miami 4 of their last 5. Deep 3 from Rogers off the side iron. Tracked down by Faye.
And Rogers is normally that sharpshooter. Played a couple years. Ooh.
Johnson jump stop, couldn't get the bucket, got the foul. No whistle, Cam Williams.
That's going to be Cam Williams' second foul.
We have a Saturday slate of men's basketball games right here on the ACC Network and the ESPN app. Cooper Flagg leads number 4 Duke against Georgia Tech at noon Eastern. And in our primetime West Coast matchup, Cal squares off against number 23 San Diego State. You want to talk about someone who can score the basketball. Cooper Flagg can flat out score.
Been so much fun watching him on the men's side. And there's so much attention coming into this season, and for him to be able to convert and do what he's doing, it's fun to watch.
And to be just a freshman as well, as Johnson gets 1 of 2 at the line.
What does a freshman even mean anymore, right?
Listen, we've seen some talented freshmen on the women's side in the ACC. Blake's for Vandy lit it up against Miami. Is that off the mark?
Great tip right there, 23, Johnson.
Good pass. Washington's along the baseline for Faye, rolls it in.
I like this. Pitt changes their defense. They go to a full-court press, put a little bit more, figure out a way to slow Miami down, and then they get the defensive rebound, take it up the floor, get a great possession.
Jumper falls from Roberts. So Miami answers with a bucket. It keeps it a 9-point Hurricanes advantage. Johnson, no good. Pitt now 1 of their last 8 from the floor.
Every single possession matters. Got to move the ball from side to side, and that's going to be a travel.
Turnover Miami, but that was something that Tori Verdi said specifically. Every possession matters. That has been something that he imparted into his team coming into today.
Well, even looking for us, the question was, you know, you're going into the ACC season, what does that look like? And he said, we don't really look at the ACC and preseason and all. We want to play every single game. We want to play every single possession. And so far, they've really struggled from possession to possession.
Another travel whistled on Faye. What is Miami's defense doing that is bothering her so much?
Well, that was a triple team. So there's nowhere to go, there's nowhere to dribble, and everybody stopped moving, so there was nowhere to pass either. But I think Faye needs to do a better job. Just take one dribble out, or the team needs to recognize that she's getting double and triple teamed.
4 turnovers now for Faye. Roberts on the floor. Good defense by another block. Pitt looking to push. Faye, 18-footer, no good.
I like that shot attempt by Faye, though. Tried to pull out a little bit. That's something she's been working on. Keep taking those shots and get comfortable. Those shots will fall.
5-second difference between shot clock and game clock. Harmon tied up. Loose ball over to the Panthers. Washington's. 3 on the clock. Up and under, no good. Rogers has the rebound. Miami, after the first 10 minutes, the Hurricanes lead it 15-6.
Be establishing the players and the system.
And Miami's coming off of an Elite 8 appearance just 2 seasons ago. Did not make the NCAA tournament last year. Coach Cullip said her team has a chip on their shoulder, felt they should have made it, and she's trying to get the youngsters to have that chip as well as Marshall. Good defense. It's going to stay with the Panthers, but you gotta love the front.
Oh, you gotta love it, but the hunger. That's what she kept saying. I want them to stay hungry for more. For those that were part of 2 years ago and making it to the tournament, for those that didn't make it last year, this year we want to change that, and we want to change the narrative about Miami basketball.
The 3 players on this Miami team were part of that Elite 8 run. Roberts, who just made the steal there, gets fouled by Faye. That's going to be Faye's 2. Her second foul.
And here are the key returners down low, the Cavinder twins, who did not play last season, but they were on the NCAA team 2 years ago. And Jasmyne Roberts is the only player that has played all 4 years for Miami.
That's right, Cavinder twins effectively stepped away from basketball following that Elite 8 run, thought they were going to retire, announced in April of this year that they were going to come back for one final run here at Miami. Haley Cavinder, the leading scorer on this Hurricanes team. Under 10 on the clock again. Out to Hannah on the deck. Haley, shot clock violation. Best defensive effort of the day for Pitt.
And they need to build off of this. That way, the rotation that they had, the movement of the ball from Miami from side to side, but Pitt found players to rotate every single time.
Well, Pitt needs an offensive spark. They're shooting 13%, just 2 of 15 in that first quarter.
Both teams doing a good job on the defensive end, but I do think for Pitt, some of the turnovers they've had have been unforced errors.
Malcolm misfires on the 3. She was Pitt's leading a 3-point shooter a year ago. Off to Hannah.
Miami looks stagnant right now. Looked in the first quarter, I felt like they were moving the ball really well. It's a lot of dribbling.
Marshall, 3-pointer, yes!
Matt Marshall from the top. Great job, steps out, nobody defended her.
Offensive, and it's Marshall doing it on both ends.
So we got the offensive end, we got the 3-pointer, then she comes on the defensive end. Great job of just setting her feet. But look right here, rotation, Faye late. Nat Marshall hits, and then she gets down, hand straight up. But you can't call that any better. Marshall doing a great job of getting her feet set for that charge.
Marshall, the 6'5" graduate senior from Queens, transferred from Notre Dame. And Tamika, you pointed it out, Marshall had never shot a 3 before coming into this season. This year, lighting it up from beyond the arc.
Well, her confidence, you can tell a difference even right here. She's got set, looking for her shot. That is something in the last 4 years at Notre Dame she has not. Shot clock running down, and another one. Nat Marshall sets up. She's got that smile on her face, like, hey, if you need me to hit another one, I'm right here for you.
Largest lead for Miami, 21-6. Back-to-back 3-point buckets from Nat Marshall. How does Pitt get the offense going?
Well, I don't know right now. They just got to get something. A lot of dribbling, a lot of standing.
Faye, no good. Marshall has the rebound. Her ability to step out from the arc kind of reminds me of Jonquel Jones at the New York Liberty. Able to stretch the floor from that 6'5" frame. Another turnover headed back over to the Panthers.
Definitely. And I think Marshall really just the confidence factor of being able now, that's something she worked on in the offseason. And when you start to see it happen and you get into that flow and you see the ball go through the net, especially at the buzzer, I mean, that's great for her.
Marshall 6 points off the pair of threes. Washenitz contested three-pointer off the mark.
Bad shot selection for Pitt. I think that you keep asking, you know, how do they get it started? And you've got to figure out how to space the floor. The shots that they're taking are not good shots.
Foul underneath. Miami leading at 21-6. Pitt has yet to score in the quarter.
And when I say they're not getting the shots, part of it is you got to space, you got to pass the ball from side to side. Brooklyn Miles now back in the game, and you know she's one of those players that Coach Verdi said we got to get her scoring.
Jumper falls off the rim from Haley Cavinder. Just 5 points for her so far. Marshall knocks it away. It will stay with Pitt, but the Panthers, we keep harping on the numbers, but they tell a story. 2 of 18 from the floor. They're down to 11% shooting in the game.
You got to give credit to Miami. Look how hard they are playing defensively. They are not allowing any easy shots.
Deep three in the corner. Malcolm puts it home.
And right when I said that, they attack the basket and find the open player.
Aislinn Malcolm, sophomore from Carnegie, Pennsylvania. That was a bucket that Pitt desperately needed.
You know, Pitt looking at changing up their defensive scheme, going to 2-3.
Roberts into the lane. Floater, no. Elmore the board.
You know, one area that Pitt has to do a better job. They're doing a good job on the defensive end for the most part. You know, they've done a good job. Where they have not been able to succeed is converting it into points on the other end.
Foul whistled on Anae Adams, the freshman from New Bedford, Massachusetts. Malcolm short that time. Cavinder, good look. Marshall running the floor. You got to feed her.
And that's what Marshall does such a good job of running from one end all the way to the other. She gets her head underneath the basket, but when you know you have a post player that can run, she can stop at the three-point line, you got to guard her out there. She can get to the basket, you got to guard her there too.
Elmore unleashes the three. It's no good. Nat Marshall averages just under 8.5 points per game. She's already at that now. Hannah Cavinder for three. It's off the back iron. Roberts right there for the second chance opportunity.
And Roberts does a good job of just elevating above, and that's a great thing from a coach's standpoint, but even from a player, what you practice, you put in.
Well, Coach Hellup was telling us that she wasn't happy with her team shooting, and she was talking to legendary Coach Lynn Dunn. She's part of the Lynn Dunn tree, and Coach Dunn said, yeah, well, how much shooting are you doing in practice? And she goes, I went back and looked, and we weren't doing enough shooting in practice.
So they did this past week.
Definitely, as Miles gets downhill through traffic, offensive foul. That's already the third offensive foul whistled on the Panthers.
Yeah, I think with Pitt right now, you know, they're putting their head down and driving to the basket. And one thing you got to understand is Miami has 2 or 3 players underneath the basket, so you got to figure out a way to slow down, pivot, pass the ball out, and get players cutting.
11th turnover committed by the Panthers. It's led to 10 Miami points. Kick out, Adams. The triple's no good. Strong rebound from Elmore.
And Adam missed opportunity because she was wide open over there.
11 turnovers, just 3 made field goals. Another foul on Brooklyn Miles.
Well, Brooklyn Miles tried to set a butt screen, but I think if she would have just stood there, it would have been fine, but she stood there and backed into the player. So that's it's a moving screen.
Miles turning around and looking at Coach Verdi, asking, what did I do? And that's the sentiment that you get from Pitt. Very frustrated. You can see that in their body language as Marshall can't get the roll.
And Cavinder comes out of nowhere with the rebound and the putback.
Battling for the board underneath. There was a time where Haley Cavinder was leading this team in rebounds at 5'6". Malcolm off the skip pass, too strong. Ball on the floor. A loose ball foul.
Yeah, take another look at that. Nat Marshall with the shot, and Cavinder, the smallest one of the bunch in there, and comes out with a great putback.
Cavinder averaging just under 6.5 rebounds per game. But Coach Cullip said she actually wanted her bigs to get more involved in the rebounding. Loved that Cavinder was rebounding at that rate, but she said also that means that our bigs aren't rebounding enough as Faye finally gets loose on the interior.
Well, Faye got her hands on the ball, and you could tell she kind of breathed a sigh of relief because they have not been able to get the ball into her, especially that deep, where all she had to do was turn and shoot.
4 points for Faye, 2 of 6 from the floor. Turnover committed by Miami as that's into the front row here in the Peterson Event Center.
And Jasmyne Roberts, all she could do was start laughing. Cavinder didn't even try to like go up. Yeah, look at that post up down low. And Roberts overruns it, but that was a great catch by Faye.
A good find from Malcolm as well. Miami not able to help on the side, going right back into Faye, same result.
So the defense has broken down a little bit for Miami because before they were having two people that were standing right behind Faye, but they're trying to run through to get the steal. Faye doing a good job of backing in and getting out the position.
Back-to-back buckets for Khadija Faye. Nice find underneath. Adams can't finish. That was a great look from Cavinder.
Yeah, we keep talking about what Pitt needs to do on offense to get back in the game. The score now is 27-13. They had 9, they scored 5. The patience, the flow, getting the ball to the basket, finding the right players, that's what they got to do. They got to chip away. And take another look at these last couple. I mean, Faye doing a great job with the good finish, back-to-back at the basket. And when you get those post-ups and she's able to continue, that's what they have to do. They got to find inside game, and then they can get back to the outside game. They've started with the outside game. They're not falling, so you got to get the ball inside.
It's 2 of 9 from beyond the arc. Faye starting to get going here in the second quarter. 6 on the clock. Malcolm, tough take, gets the runner.
So attack the basket, do what Miami is doing, try to get to the free throw line, because we haven't shot a lot of free throws today.
Just 2 combined free throws for both of these teams. Miami hasn't even gone to the line yet. It's a 6-0 run for the Panthers. Cavinder whipped into the corner.
Look at that ball movement. Miami doing a good job. One more pass to Nat Marshall in the corner.
That time can't get the 3. Miles on the run out. Couldn't get the lay-in to fall. Faye underneath, can't control it.
That's a good defensive possession, defense to offense, not able to finish at the basket, but you can already tell that the notch is going up a little bit higher from the Pittsburgh team.
Miami in the midst of a 2-minute-plus scoring drought. What was an 18-point lead sliced to 12 and right back out to 15 on the 3-pointer from Haley Cavinder.
Yeah, you got to stay up on her, and either of the Cavinders you can't let loose. And with this lineup out here, Nat Marshall can knock down 3. Jasmyne Roberts has already knocked down a couple of 3s. So who are you going to help off of?
Who should they help off of is Elmore, found on the 3-point attempt and 1.
Energy right there. You saw Elmore get hyped up, gets a chance for the and 1, but the whole team, the energy had gone up. They got to figure out what they're going to do. So you like this. Nice shot attempt, and Cavinder just gets her right on that right arm. That the ball going up. Fired up.
Pitt was looking for an offensive spark. They've gotten some buckets, found some flow, and a play like that has the opportunity to really get a late run as Elmore converts.
Well, I mean, you look at the score, and they're only down 11. So in the grand scheme of things, if they knock down a couple of shots and have a couple of defensive opportunities, but the Cavinders aren't going to let that happen.
Well, Pitt has to get defensive stops as well. Back-to-back buckets for Haley Cavinder. She's up to 12 points. Audrey Biggs in for the first time. Battles for three. All of a sudden, Pitt knocking down some shots.
All of a sudden, the ball is going from side to side, and Pitt is taking their time on these shots and getting open looks.
Shot clock is off. Under 10. Cavinder to Roberts, turnaround jumper's no good. And a whistle with 1 second on the clock. It'll go back over to the Panthers.
Well, Pitt got lucky on that. Miami had another opportunity. They're gonna take a shot.
Battles launches the three, it's no good. Pitt finishes 5 of their last 7 from the floor. What was an 18-point Miami lead, sliced to over 10 per game on the year, already at that number. And then Nat Marshall knocking down a couple of trays. She has 8 as we are back underway here inside the Peterson Event Center. Miami on top of Pitt by 10. Washenitz gets Pitt scoring first.
Well, Washenitz read that play really well. She was wide open for a minute. Cavinder came running at her, and great job of taking the extra drive. Nice little shot fake, 2 dribble pull-up.
First points of the afternoon for Marley Washenitz. It gets it back to single digits. Air ball from Roberts. Good effort from Cavinder underneath.
Cavinder very active down low. Both of them are going to be around the basket when the ball goes up.
Heads up play there from Cavinder. Will stay with the Hurricanes.
I think she was talking a little trash after that too.
Tough take. Williams short.
I think it's going to be really important. So Williams went out early with 2 fouls. She's only really been in the game for a few minutes, and that was her first shot attempt.
Johnson over top of Williams. Second chance opportunity for 5.
And I think that's probably the worst thing for Miami that they could do is give confidence back. And the Pitt is playing at a different level.
Confidence compounded by a turnover. The ball back in the hands of Brooklyn Miles. As Pitt has cut it down to a 6-point deficit. Skip pass, Washenitz, 4-3 around and out.
That was a good play right there. You saw the help come all the way in, trying to make sure that 5 doesn't get the touches down low.
Cavinder fouled by Washenitz as the two were battling for the ball.
Washenitz kind of pushed Cavinder down.
Happened right in front of where we were sitting. It was pretty easy to see from our vantage point.
I don't know if that was a battle or a push, but the foul did get called.
We're trying to give her the benefit of the doubt.
I appreciate that.
Second foul on Washenitz. Pitt brings the double, get the turnover. Washenitz on the run out, missed the bunny.
And not able to convert. Defense leads to offense, and great job for Miami.
Fine. Cavinder to Cavinder again. Elmore, 3-pointer, no good.
So I think that's where Pitt needs to do a better job, run the offense. Every single time they get the easy scores, they're running the offense, rotating the ball from one side to the other, getting the ball inside. They got to get back to that.
Pull up. Cavinder puts it home. Haley Cavinder up to 14.
Haley Cavinder does a good job of reading what the defense gives her. That was not a hard shot, that one dribble pull-up, but she does step right in.
9th time this season that Cavinder has been in double figures. Good ball movement from Pitt. 5 fouled underneath.
Nice little pass right here, handed to Haley, Cavinder to Cavinder. And we talked about this in the first half, those two and the way that they read each other. And then, of course, Cavinder does a good job. Nat Marshall actually set that up. Look at the end, that screen. and being able to come around. Williams will go back to the bench now, has just picked up her 3rd foul. So it's been a rough day for her so far.
14 points for Cavinder as Faye heads to the free throw line. Doesn't get the first. These just the 4th and 5th free throw attempts of the game in total. Miami still has not gone to the stripe.
Miami really had done a good job of knocking down shots. They step from the 3-point line and then a couple down low. And interesting, Faye misses both.
He's been a good free throw shooter on the year, over 72%. Washenet's tied up underneath with Marshall. That is going to be Washenet's 3rd as she picks up 2 quick ones here to start the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, those fouls really are tough fouls. I mean, you're in the flow of the game, but you also have to be conscious of what's going on. That's a bad foul for her. They need her on the floor. She's been aggressive. She's definitely helped pick up the energy for this team.
Gonna bring Battles back on. Taken away by Miles. Up ahead, Elmore feeds Faye running the floor.
So Pitt doesn't want to get into the full court running up and down, but Battle, great job with her hands.
Steal from Battle. Pitt takes it right back as Roberts out to Cavinder. Takes the contact, no call. Or late whistle as Cavinder hits the deck.
That's going to be 3 on Brooklyn Miles, but love the energy, love the transition game by Pitt. Good job looking up Miles to Elmore to Faye.
Faye now in double figures as well. She's been in double digits in 8 of 10 this year. Cavinder will head to the line for 2, gets the first.
And this is the first time that we've seen Miami go to the free throw line. So attacking the basket allows you these opportunities.
Miami, an excellent free throw shooting team on the season. They're 6th in the nation, 81%. Cavinder 1 for 2.
So Pitt trying to find the balance of the transition game and the half-court offense. Trying to get the best play to get opportunity to score.
That's a difficult balance to find as Elmore uncorks the 3. It's no good. Miami more up tempo. Whipped out to Roberts for 3. Off the mark. Foul underneath. They'll get Adams as she was going head-to-head with Faye for the board.
I like the effort, though. Get in there, get on the board. You know, obviously 50-50 chance of the ball going in, right? Depending on who's shooting it, but Jasmyne Roberts not able to knock it down. That was a great look for her, 2 for 2 in the first half.
3rd foul on Anae Adams. Inside out basketball. Battle off the back iron. That was a good look.
I think Pitt is at their best when they move the ball. All those shots are not going to fall all the time, but when you get a good look, you have a higher percentage of them going down.
Adams, baseline. Cavinder, doubled, has to put it back up top.
Shot clock winding down and trying to get a good look.
Inside, knocked away. It will stay with Miami, but 1.7 left on the shot clock.
I feel like at times Miami sometimes gets stagnant and their offensive flow, a lot of one-on-one or even just trying to come and set a high ball screen. But players aren't moving around, so it's hard to get those shots and it's hard to drive when everybody's standing in one spot.
Inside to Haley, shakes loose. What a bucket for Miami, but demoralizing for Pitt.
Yeah, 1.7 seconds. Normally you get a stop. They go down low. Faye, opportunity for the and one.
Just takes Aurora Almond down low, able to crawl it over the rim. 12 points for Faye.
Well, Faye is relentless when she's down low. Look at the way she posts up, and just a great job the energy at the end, but it's the effort that it takes before we saw the end. But she started that right when she got to the three-point line, getting Aurora behind her to allow her the opportunity to get post up as low as she did.
And what's been the biggest difference in Faye's game that you've noticed? You just saw the first quarter there versus what she's been able to do since.
Well, I think it's been a team effort. Of course, Faye being down low gives her the opportunity to post up, but when other players are scoring around her, then you can't put as much focus down low.
Coming up next, the afternoon continues with a ranked matchup with number 14 North Carolina hosting number 25 Georgia Tech at Carmichael Arena. And we finish up the day with Loyal, McQueen, and Clemson taking on Wake Forest. Tamika, I got to tell you, I did the game with Kelly Gramlich last week, Virginia Tech and Duke, and Kelly said, do not sleep on this Georgia Tech-UNC matchup. It is a top 25 showdown. It is going to be a good one in Chapel Hill.
Well, and if they both come out playing the way that we know and we have seen them and the capabilities that they have, I mean, it's going to be a lot of fun to watch.
The two top defenses in the ACC going head-to-head. That one is coming up right after we wrap up here in Pittsburgh.
You do realize they have to score, too.
That is true. Someone's got to score to win. Reminds me of my coach, can't win nothing to something. Roberts gets 3 more.
Roberts just shooting phenomenal. The third 3.
Johnson, baseline drive into the paint. Tough shot.
That was a nice drive, attack the basket, and go right in between 2 players. That was a tough shot.
Keeps Pitt within 9. Miami, 4 of their last 5 from the floor. Roberts down low. Nice look.
Roberts does a good job. The way she drives to the basket, 2 defenders without communicating. Gets switched down to her, leaves a wide open Aurora Elman down low.
Johnson inside. Good ball movement from Pitt. Miles. That's a fancy finish.
That was a fancy finish. We thought she was going to shoot that 3, but that would have been the first attempt. And that was a block from behind by Battle.
And Battle got a piece of it as it was let go from Hilton. Foul on Cavinder. Miami and Pitt going back-to-back. Both teams heating up offensively.
It's been a lot of fun, too. Coming out of halftime, both teams are playing at their best. Start of the game, first quarter going to the second quarter, we really wondered what type of team we would see from Pitt. And they started changing the last 5 minutes, so now the second half, they've really gotten into their flow.
Gotten some quality looks down inside for Faye. Has Pitt. She's got 12 points. Turnovers were the issue in the first half. Pitt turns it over. Hannah Cavinder gets the run out.
Great finish by Cavinder. Battle did a good job, too, making sure she didn't foul.
15 points off of turnovers for Miami in the game. Marshall tipped it away. It will stay with Pitt.
And one thing we talked about earlier is just the double team from Miami on Faye, and that last possession, Marshall got her hand on it, but Jasmyne Roberts was standing right there for that double team.
And something you noted was the standing versus the flyby. The change in Miami's defense sort of opened things up for Faye.
Well, you got to set it up, too. I think Pitt, they've been able to get those looks down low when they set the offense.
3-pointer, short. Second chance opportunity, no, but Marshall going to be whistled for the foul. Faye will head to the line.
And that'll be Marshall's second foul. You know, we can't underestimate just how relentless Faye, Khadija Faye, when she gets her mind set on going to the board, more than likely she's going to get the rebound.
Khadija Faye has a great motor and capability of getting to the free throw line. She averages over 6 free throw attempts per game. She was 10 of 11 from the stripe in the win over St. Peter's.
And of course, when we talked to Coach Cullop from Miami, that was a big concern of hers. She said, we have got to figure out a way to keep Faye off the boards. And you know, Faye gets loose every once in a while, but it's at the right time in the game.
Faye putting together a argument for newcomer of the year in the conference. You saw where she was ranking in those conference statistics. This is a player that never averaged more than 6 points at either of her previous stops at Texas Tech or Texas.
When you have opportunities, you take advantage of those opportunities. That's what can happen. And Faye is an example of that. We haven't seen a lot of Cameron Williams from Miami. Same with her. Nat Marshall could be an argument. I mean, there's so many great players that are moving around.
Marshall on 5. Faye gets the block. 0.7 on the clock. Hurricanes will inbound under their own basket.
Well, we saw Miami get a shot attempt with 1.7 seconds left to go, so we'll see what happens.
Tougher ask here. Catch and shoot. Off the front iron. Cavinder comes away with the board. That's a huge offensive rebound.
I hear Coach Cullen from over here.
Offensive foul called underneath. That going to go against Marshall, her third. So now both Marshall and Williams saddled with 3 fouls apiece.
And when you look at the post game itself, those are the 2 players that Miami relies on sitting on the bench. We have not really seen Williams. Now Marshall goes out.
It's going to put a redshirt freshman in Aurora Almond down low, working up against Faye. If you're Pitt, you go inside again.
Of course you go inside, and I think that is exactly what they're going to do. And as a team, you have to understand that. But Faye, great job just moving around the paint, being patient, ducks in, and get that foul on Almond.
Talk about the redshirt freshman. On the other side, you have the graduate, the intuition and the know of Faye there on the low block, knowing that she has the size advantage, the physical advantage on the interior, just asking for that ball, and she's rewarded with fouls and free throws.
Well, the team has to understand that. When you have a player like Faye on your team or any of your dominant posts, Elmore would be an example of that too. When she goes down low, you're going to have to mismatch. Space the floor, be ready to shoot when the ball comes out, but really focus on what does it take to get the ball down low.
Faye gets the pair, hits within striking distance. And trailed by as many as 18 in the game. They've outscored Miami by 3 here in the third quarter. Backdoor, Cavinder floater gets the bounce.
Brooklyn Miles overshoots the steal. Cavinder, great job with the backdoor cut and finish.
Nearly another turnover. Elmore step back, triple short. By the board. Going right back to work, off glass and in.
This game is physical down low. But you said it, the redshirt freshman going against an experienced Faye that is hungry in the way that she plays and relentless in every sense of the word.
Deep 3 from Rogers off the back iron. Thrown into the backcourt. Over and back, turnover by the Hurricanes. Not a good possession there for Miami.
No, it wasn't. And Almond, you look at her, and one thing that was good is her teammates came over and said, it's okay, you got it, on to the next possession. And I think as an underclassman, as a freshman, you need that support because she's also building her confidence. They're going to need her down the stretch. Because if this situation ever happens again, your post players have to be prepared.
Three-pointer wide open, drained by Johnson. Pitt has whittled this lead away. Shot clock is off. Haley Cavinder, circus shot right into the hands. Almond can't miss it, or can't make it. Miles won't get it off before the shot clock. Solid quarter from the Panthers. They fouls. It will be Hurricanes ball to start the fourth.
Well, they were trying to review the scoreboard, and that is the correct score, 48-44.
Pitt won the third quarter plus 6, 22-16. Roberts up and under, gets it to go.
Roberts read the floor, and none of her teammates were really moving in a space where she could pass. And sometimes you got to take matters into your own hands.
15 points now for Roberts. Foul there at the top of the key.
And that's going to be her second foul.
Her second, the first against Miami in the fourth quarter.
So if you, on the offensive end, if you're able to convert and you're able to make those shots, you got to come back. And I think from Miami's standpoint, got to make some stops.
How do they make the stops?
Well, defensively, look at Faye working down low, and good defense. Cavinder running out.
Malcolm less than 5 on the clock, lets it fly and buries it.
And Malcolm just stepped right into that shot. I think everybody was so focused on what was going on down low.
Tori Verdi said Malcolm is the player that he wanted to hunt her shot. Williams battling underneath. Second chance opportunity, no good, but it will stay with Miami.
Now Williams struggling to get her shot going, but we'll take another look at this Malcolm three, and nobody steps out. That was a great screen by Faye. Everybody's directed their attention, and she's able to get that in.
Roberts fouled on the way up. These will be the first free throws of the afternoon, rather the second and third free throws of the afternoon coming from Miami. They have been in short supply.
And you gotta wonder with a team like Miami and the way that they've been playing, how they're not getting to the free throw line more.
Has it been that Miami hasn't been physical enough, or has Pitt's defense been that good?
Well, I think that could be part of it, but another part could be their post players. Williams has been out. Nat Marshall's been very, very efficient from the three-point line. So who are you posting up?
So style of play.
Could be that.
Roberts gets the pair. Those are big free throws for Miami. It pushes the lead back out to 5.
And Miami trying to stay steady, trying to keep the ball from going in, and that's a great steal.
Williams takes it away. Miami pulls it back out. Cavinder sets the offense. Roberts inside to Williams. She was locked in with Faye on the interior.
And I like that play. You saw it happening. They totally cleared out the backside so that Williams would be able to have the whole backside to catch the ball and go up.
Third foul on Faye. Right back to Williams underneath. Can't get it to go.
Now Williams right now 0 for 3 down low.
These were our 2 players to watch coming into the matchup. It's been a tough offensive day for Cam Williams, but Khadija Faye doing what she does. That one down and out.
But those numbers are a big part of this game, and that's why when you look at the game of basketball, it is a team effort.
Marshall, another triple.
Nat Marshall is feeling it from the outside. That is her 3rd three-pointer tonight.
11 points now for Marshall as the Miami lead back to 8. Johnson poked away. Good defense by the Hurricanes.
Not enough space down low, and Cavinder trying to thread the needle, but not able to get it.
Had the right idea. Good defense from Pitt to take it away.
Well, this is where you see when Coach Verdi was talking about every possession matters. Not running off of a steal and trying to get the best shot. Brooklyn Miles takes it in. Nice little right-hand finish.
Shaken loose off of the screen from Faye using the double. And that's understanding your offense and understanding your personnel on the floor.
And when you need to speed it up and when you need to slow it down.
Cavinder off the screen, elbow J, down and out. Aggressive rebound from Faye.
And a great job of just keeping it because those hands were in there.
12th rebound of the afternoon. Miles goes back to Faye, inside turnaround. She'll head to the line for 2.
And that looks like that's going to be a foul on Marshall.
That foul is going to be assessed to Marshall. That is her 4th foul. And for Miami, that's a blow. Marshall's been very effective from that 3-point line, 11 points today.
Well, what it's allowed Miami to do is really space the floor out with Marshall on the outside. They don't necessarily have anybody down low, but when she's knocking down shots, that's very efficient.
And not only is it the 4th foul on Marshall, but it sends an efficient free throw shooter in Faye to the line with the opportunity to cut into the lead without time coming off the clock. And Faye gets both.
Well, Faye now with 20 points and 12 rebounds. And like I said earlier, it started off a little bit rough from Pitt, really trying to get the ball down low, but once things opened up.
3rd consecutive game for Faye with 20 points. She can flat out score the basketball. Adams had to kick it back up top. Rogers into the corner. Less than 10 on the clock. 3-pointer on the way. It's off the mark.
Rogers got to get her body squared to the basket. She's taking those shots, but your body has to face the basket to allow the opportunity to go in.
Miami 8 of 20 from beyond the arc today. Faye, nice find inside. Elmore through traffic. Pitt within 2.
Great job. They saw the mismatch down low. Cavinder on Elmore. Get the ball down low.
6-0 scoring run for the Panthers. Miami hasn't scored in over 2 minutes. Haley Cavinder. Step back jumper, so smooth.
I like how she read the defense, and Faye was not going to release off of Williams.
Faye quickly doubled, shuffled the feet. Another turnover committed by the Panthers, but Pitt back within 4.
Well, both teams fighting really hard right now just to get that flow, and Elmore, great job off the middle.
Figures, you have Haley Cavinder with 19, Jazz Roberts with 17, Nat Marshall with 11, so there has been some equal production in terms of the high scores for the Hurricanes. Still shooting 43% from the floor, but 3 of 8 in the 4th quarter.
And I think one area they are really trying to figure out is how do we get Cam Williams going down low? You see how hard she's working to try to get the ball.
Williams has not scored today, 0 of 3. 5 on the clock, into Williams, right into the body, wipe it off, offensive foul.
Yeah, she caught the ball, and where it went downhill, she got the ball right there. All she had to do, but you see that left shoulder goes right into Faye. You gotta go straight up. That is her 4th foul. So she will be going to the bench, and Nat Marshall will come in also with 4 fouls.
Trisha Cullip teaching the graduate from Chicago, Illinois.
And that's what I love about Coach Cullip. She's always looking at ways to teach.
Johnson will be headed to the line for 2. Fouled on the drive. They'll whistle Hannah Cavinder. I stand corrected. They will get Haley Cavinder. It's her 3rd.
Well, Pitt had done a much better job in the second half of getting the ball to the basket. Miami hasn't really been able to find a way to stop them.
Free throws continuing to rack up for Pitt, now 10 of 13.
Take a look at Cam Williams on the bench, 4 fouls.
Williams has 4. Marshall has 4 as well. Cavinder shakes loose. Scoop to the hoop is good.
She's quick. Yeah, they can be deceiving when they're going down. You feel like you should be able to get it. That's going to be another travel.
Faye shuffled the feet. I don't know who's deceived. I think they look fast on film, let alone in real time.
I mean, look at this nice little fake. And Brooklyn Miles is quick, so that just a nice line drive straight to the basket.
21 points for Cavinder. On the block. Into the corner. Hannah for three, no good. Adams in there for the rebound, jump ball. It's going to head over to the Panthers.
That was a nice clean play, heads up play. Haley to Hannah. I feel like we've been saying that a lot. Haley to Hannah, Hannah to Haley.
It's been said a few times today, a few times over the course of their careers, no doubt. 4-point Miami lead. The Hurricanes were up by as many as 18 late in the second. Pitt timeout. Miami trying to hold off a late Pitt run here in Pittsburgh. Trying to hold on as Pitt scored 22 in the third. Both teams with 11 points thus far in the fourth. Malcolm finds Elmore, wing three off the mark.
Oh, Miami trying to pick it up, pick up the intensity.
Adams for three, no good. Batted around, it's Faye with the board. 13 now for Khadija Faye.
I looked at Coach Cullop's face after that shot. It's not that it wasn't a good shot. Probably needed to take a little bit more time off.
But
good job by Nat Marshall.
By Marshall, especially with 4 fouls.
And you know that the ball is going to come down low. So you have to just be willing to stand right there with your hands up. And if Faye makes a good shot, she makes a good shot.
Under 2.5 to play. Cavinder. Up to Marshall for three, short. Pitt, no field goals in nearing 3 minutes. They trail by 4.
The game is a game of a lot of highs and lows, and we've seen that from both sides.
Pitt going high-low. Faye turnaround off the back iron.
Another great defensive possession by Nat Marshall.
Miami around the perimeter. Cavinder pull up, falls off the rim.
Yeah, I think the struggle sometimes for Miami in these lulls is not enough movement with the ball.
Johnson misfires on the three, so time getting short for the Panthers. Miami 0 of their last 4.
And you see all of the players bunched up in the middle trying to figure out, and just talk about spacing the floor, having those opportunities, and that's gonna be a travel by Battle.
Adams turns it over. It will get back into the hands of Pitt, trailing by 4. 1 minute and 5 left on the clock. This is doable for the Panthers.
Yes, but they got to figure out a way to score the basketball. They've had a couple of good looks. Faye's had a couple down low. Elmore had a nice 3 opportunity, but just haven't been able to knock it down.
Johnson going to work. Had the look she wanted, couldn't get it. Timeout taken by Miami.
Yeah, both teams look really tired right now. It's kind of like this.
Hurricanes inbounding along the sideline. Good defense from Miles.
Yeah, both of them going at it.
10 on the shot clock. Loose ball. Going back over to the Panthers. What a defensive effort.
Yeah. Ball got tapped a little bit, and I think Nat Marshall and Williams went for the ball, and both of them not realizing it was each other, so they didn't grab it.
Pitt has to have points. They turn it over instead. Cavinder fouled by Battle.
Yeah, Brooklyn Miles tried to go in for a layup and got the ball stripped away from her. And Miami, good job of being in the right position, making those plays down the stretch.
just the third team foul of the quarter on the Panthers. Haley gets loose. Can't finish, but she will head to the line for 2 more.
And that'll be a foul on Battle. I think the refs are trying to figure out if that was on the floor or in the flow of the shot.
The referees will get together. They've sent both teams back. The foul going to be
on Battle.
The referees are reviewing. Is there anything that you saw in real time that would rise to the level of a review?
Well, I think they were just trying to figure out if it was in the motion of a shooting foul. So if that is the case, Cavinder will have 2 free throws. But if it was on the floor, then they'll take it out.
Here's another look.
And that looks like that's where the foul is.
You can see there the referee initially waving it off. That was Joseph Vasily, our crew chief, Tiana Cruz and Keith Baston.
And I think it is important to make the right call.
Throw shooter, but it also gives the Hurricanes the ball back.
Yeah, so it could be a potential swing. And Cavinder not able to connect on the first free throw.
Pending the outcome of this free throw, Miami will get the ball back. So Pitt going to be in a scenario in which they're going to need to foul again as Cavinder gets the second. Still only 4 team fouls, so they'll have to foul 1 more time to put Miami into the bonus.
And it's a 5-point game, so plenty of time.
Cavinder to inbound right in front of the table. Good defense from Pitt, has to burn the timeout.
But that's a smart play. But that's a smart play. You don't want to force the ball to get in and then risk a turnover, especially being down by 5. So
took the words right out of my mouth, because I was going to say the worst case scenario for Miami is you try to force, you get a turnover, you allow Pitt the easy run out, and 5 points might seem like a lot, but if you're a fan of the game and you've watched at any level, you know that anything can happen in 16.9 seconds.
And then you also know whose hands you want the ball in. So you go to the bench, you draw up a play, and you put it in motion and make sure that you know Pitt is going to come and they're going to have to foul. In order, they're going to have to go for a steal and a foul. So you got to make sure the ball gets in the right person's hands.
For Miami, of the players that are on the floor, they've got 4 players that are shooting at a better than 80% clip from the line. Roberts gets downhill. She's fouled. That foul going to be whistled on Battle. That is her 3rd. It'll send Roberts to the line. Roberts, an 81% free throw shooter on the season, gets the first.
So Miami down the stretch did a really good job of containing the ball and making big plays. They made big plays. Although we look at Pitt miss, they made some really big plays down the stretch.
Miami did a nice job defensively against Faye as well. She got loose for 12 points in the 3rd quarter, limited to just 2 in the 4th, 0 of 3 from the floor. To 62 points per game. Miami came in averaging just under 80 points, but it is the Hurricanes who are holding on to the 7-point advantage, and things starting to get a little less manageable for the Panthers. 15.4 on the clock.
Well, I think right now Pitt has to do a quick play, and I don't know who you're trying to get. Is it Elmore for the 3?
Have to have points. It's Johnson for 3 off the back iron. Faye undercut underneath. So a foul whistled on the floor.
And that's going to be on Williams, which that will be her 5th foul.
Williams' day is done. She heads to the bench. 5 fouls, no points, 3 rebounds. And it will send Faye to the free throw line. She has had herself an afternoon there.
Yeah, Faye right now, 20 points, 14 rebounds.
7 of 9 from the line with that make. One more to come. Missed the second.
And so off the rebound by Cavinder, you heard Coach Cullup screaming, timeout, timeout. Series, especially when you get into conference play, ACC, so many good teams.
Roberts stepped on the end line, so Miami turns it back over to the Panthers. No time coming off the clock.
And Coach Verdi's not calling timeout.
Miles to Faye down low, avoids the defense, able to draw the foul, could not get the and one. And if you're Pitt, you have to have points every time.
Every single possession matters. Every single opportunity at the basket matters. And although they'll get a chance to get to the free throw line and get 2, getting that and one would have definitely given them a little bit more.
Faye continuing to rack up points, 21, 14 rebounds. She's one shy in the rebound category of her season high as that falls off the rim. Gets the second, lane violation.
Yeah, she thought that the ball, she thought she missed. So she went to get the rebound and stepped over the line.
So Pitt does not come away with any points. Miami will survive a late surge by the Pitt Panthers as they start conference play 1-0. It is the Hurricanes' 11th straight win over Pitt.
And Miami came in, Coach Cullup had her team